New York is a sanctuary city, and Donald Trump, during his campaign, I think he threatened to cut off funding for sanctuary cities. And what can we do to protect the undocumented people that live here?
Sure. There are many things that the state of New York can do and the city of New York can do. Number one, let's make sure that local law enforcement does not cooperate with ICE and with immigration enforcement. We have already drawn a very strict line separating that at the city level, and that needs to continue at the state level. So we need to make sure that we battle that so that we don't have our police functioning as immigration officers and having to deal with the responsibility of identifying whether someone is in the country legally or not. Do you know why? Because that makes our communities less safe. An immigrant will not communicate and will not cooperate with local police if there is this fear that a police officer has the power to place them into deportation proceedings. That is what Trump wants to do. And that is something that we in this state already have experience, understanding, we understand that nuance, and we have stopped it before, and we have to continue to stop it and make sure that it does not happen.
During the election process, did you have any contingency plans in place in case he was elected? And if so, what were they?
So during the election process, there were so many reassurances that the candidate Hillary Clinton would win, that our focus was really on expecting that she would win, that we would then be able to continue what we were doing and expand on any reforms that could help our immigrant community. We actually are familiar with the deportation paradigm because unfortunately it has expanded under the last presidency, and so that work that we've been doing, now we understand the anti-deportation work that we've been doing is the one that's going to have to be expanded now.
What would you like to tell the people in northern Manhattan and the Bronx and the greater New York City area? What would you like to tell them as, undocumented citizens or family and friends of undocumented citizens? What do you have to say to them?
Well, first, this is a serious time. We know that President-elect Trump has included people on his transition team that, for example, like Chris Kobach, who has a long history of creating and being the architect of local anti-immigrant laws. For example, like the Show Me Your Papers laws of Arizona. But what I say to our Northern Manhattan community and to our Bronx community is that if we come out publicly and unified, that is the greatest form of safety. Actually being public about who you are and where you are and what your status is actually a form of creating a safety net. There's enough people that support who you are, even if you're undocumented, that we can work to make sure that you don't get deported. Secondly, support local organizations that are doing this work to keep people in the United States and to keep their families united. There are going to be court cases where we are going to fight to make sure that whatever laws he tries to pass, we can identify and show that they're unconstitutional. So support organizations that are leading that fight. And finally, U.S. Senator Schumer has a real opportunity here to lead the country towards an agenda that actually represents our American values. If he leads, he will have many people following him. And so for all of us here in the state of New York, we need to actually hold him accountable to that.
I want to just back up a little bit about something you just said, is to make yourself public. Tell me a little bit more about that. That is some people's biggest fear, is coming out and saying that I'm undocumented publicly. Why is that a good idea?
So in our experience, when a person is placed in deportation proceedings and then their legal recourses those doors are shut, then the next step is going public and writing their story and getting support to protect them. actually ICE has some discretion in making a decision as to whether to deport someone or not. And if there is a groundswell of support that comes not only from people, but from civic leaders, from religious leaders, from union leaders, from elected officials, that actually plays a huge impact, and we've been able to prevent the deportations of individuals through that process.
What else would you like to say that I haven't asked you?
Please unite and connect with the local institutions that you trust, whether it be a religious institution, whether it be a community-based institution. It could even be your local elected officials, and tell them, I'm here, what do you need me to do? For those of us that actually have media skills, for those of us that have connections with corporations, please come and help us at the grassroots. We need you more now than ever. We need help in getting our story out. We need help in actually funding organizations like ours so that we can staff up with more lawyers, so we can staff up with communications directors, so we can staff up with community organizers. We absolutely need to hold Trump accountable and make sure that he does not violate the Constitution, and hold him accountable. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.